So
Ashtagunas.
certain gunas also are required for listening to the Upanishads. Every time I would like to remind you that Upanishads, listening to Vedanta, listening to Veda, Upanishads are not casual listening. They are not even understanding, not even studying. It is perceiving and absorbing in it. So, it is meant for that. It's not for studies. It's not for any qualifications of that. Nobody is going to give a test on Vedanta. Okay. So they are meant for absolute perception and layam in that. It's not meant for understanding. It's not meant for any other purpose. It's only for that. It's only for the absolute perception and perception and identification of the Brahman and then layam to the Brahman. So therefore, the methodology of listening is totally different. It's not for the purpose of memorizing, not for casual listening, not for leisurely listening, not for entertainment, not for discussions as I told you earlier, not for discussions, not for criticism, not for any other purpose. This importance every time I remind, because that has to be there. Otherwise, others can listen and forget it. But the purpose is this. For others it may not be very useful also. It's not. It's only for those people who are really into it. There will be repetitions. There are thousands times of repetitions. Repetition is a method of studies. Even in our schools, if you remember, we all remember that. If we make a mistake in dictations, spelling mistakes, what is the teacher says? Write that spelling for 50 times or 20 times. Tomorrow, bring them. No? Repetition. This has been followed even in this normal education process. The repetition makes it confirm in the mind. Mistake is done. I still remember. You make a mistake, you have to repeat it. One full page. And show it. Here, full page of life has to be filled with that. Not a small page. The full life has to be repeated. In the sense, it has to be throughout there. So, this is the purpose of listening. So, I'm talking about listening. That's why I'm saying all this. In these Ashta Vidyas, Ashta necessities, first one is Shushrusha. Shushrusha means, what's the meaning of Shushrusha? Shushrusha. Sushravate iti Shushrusha. That means desire to listen. That means your attendance, absolute 100% attendance. Shusravate iti Shushrusha. Shushroho. That means listening. Shushrusa. To the desire for listening, the attendance. This is also for the nowadays, in this modern days, they also say about Shushrusa, taking care of a patient is also known as Shushrusa. The word Shushrusa for taking care of a patient has come, nursing has come to give your total attention to that. That's the meaning of it. Shushrusa is not treatment. Shushrusa is what? To give your full attention. The meaning is same only. Whether it is taking care of the patient outside or taking care of the patient inside. You have a patient inside who doesn't understand anything. No? That patient has to be taken care of. The patient inside you who doesn't understand, who has got avidya, who has got ajnanam. That patient has to be taken care of. Attendance, that means Shushrusa. Purpose of listening. Understand the meaning of the importance of the meaning. Shushrusa. What is attendance? That is necessary, absolutely necessary for this. As a nurse takes care of a heart patient when he has a heart attack, how would her attention be? Neither on her nor anyone else, nor she is thinking about the family, nor she is thinking about anything else. Her complete attention is on that person, how to save him. No. Shushrusa. This intensity of Shushrusa, of taking care of a patient by a nurse, should be there in you to take care of that patient who is ignorant inside you, to make him aware of the jnana. That should be the intensity of Shushrusa that you should have while listening to your patients. As a nurse taking care of the patient, as you taking care of your patient who is inside you, who is absolutely ignorant, who is entangled in complete maya, who got an attack of number of hearts. You have to take care of that. It's called Shushrusa. You understand? I want to make you understand the importance and intensity of the meaning of that particular word. How carefully they have articulated, designed this word by the Maharishis is something very great. I could not imagine. It was amazing to me. Shushrusa is absolutely necessary. After Shushrusa, then Shravana. Next is Shravana. Shravana we have explained earlier number of times. Shravana is that not only with attention, after having absolute attention on that, then you do the Shravanam, is totally different, isn't it? There is nothing there inside you at that point of time. It is absolute emptiness. When your total attention is there, there is absolute attention, absolute emptiness, absoluteness is there. That Shravanam. Shravanam is that listening. Listening is what? Listening is not just perceiving it, as I told you. It's not listening by the ears, by the instrument of your physical body, bhautika sharira. Listening through all indriyas, listening through the whole body, not only listening through the ear, not only listening through the mind, but listening 100%. Every nerve and every tissue in your body should be only on that. If there is a sensation given, if there is an explanation given in Upanishad, that explanation should go into the smallest, tiniest tissue in your body and it should react to it. It should react. Shravanam. That is the intensity of Shravanam one should have. Because you can't afford even to miss one small letter in that explanation. Then the whole total meaning will be different. That is why you will find thousands of books written by thousands of people because of this problem. The true Shravanam is not there, true Shushrusha is not there. According to their own, depending upon their own experiences, their own conviction, they kept on giving you the explanations. If the Shravanam, if the Shushrusha and Shravanam was exactly as the Maharishi who wrote that, as the Maharishi who revealed the truth through his tapasya, if a person has got the same Shushrusha and Shravanam, it will be exactly same. There cannot be no change. There cannot be no difference. There cannot be any difference, sorry. There cannot be any difference. No? Because the Shushrusha and Shravanam are same there as well as here. If that is there, everything is same. How can it be different? The way he has listened from the Shruti when he was doing tapasya, at that point of time, his Shushrusha in tapasya, absolute Shushrusha was there, absolute attendance was there, absolute willingness of acceptance was there. And that's the time when he has listened to the Shruti from wherever it is, Shruti. That's it. He listened to the Shruti, so the meanings were revealed in his mind absolutely clearly, not that he manifested and manipulated, contemplated and created it. No, the Shruti was there and he wrote it exactly same. If the same Shushrusha and Shravanam is there in a person who is listening, a disciple who is listening, the meaning will be same as it has been told. I will give you an example for that after this explanation of 8 of these things. I will give you a right example. You might be thinking there is nobody like that. There was. If there is, I cannot say, but there was. Shushrusha, Shravanam. You understand that? The importance of it. The sanctity of it, not importance. Importance is too small a word to qualify that. The sanctity of that word, that is absolute pureness of that word, sanctity of that word. Shushrusha and Shravanam. Well, other Shravanam, the other things I have told you earlier also, Shravanam means listening, mind, contemplating, establishing that what has been told is true and listening to each and every small word and emphasizing that it should be exploited and explored and should be perceived, not only understood through the one what he has understood, one what you understand through the mind and through your brain and through your intelligence will be forgotten. If one can understand, one can forget it also. No? But the one which is perceived and I am on that, it can never go from your system. Even if your brain is not working, say principles and things like that will be there at the background of that. There's no difference. We will never forget it. I mean, the question of forgetting doesn't arise at all, because that's why it is known as forgetting, you know. Two words are there. What is that? Forgetting. Oh, the word forgetting has come. It's all my just thinking, no play of words. You won't find it anywhere. If there is a getting, there has to be a forgetting. No? You get that you forget. Whatever you get, that you forget. That's why the word is forgetting. So same thing what I wanted to say. Don't look into dictionary. Shushrusha, but it suits here, so I just said that what you get, you will lose. The other way around, getting and losing. That what you get, you will lose. But that is with you, you don't lose. So if you get it, you will lose it. If you just listen that and memorize it, you will lose it at one point. Perceive it. As I told you, each and every tissue in your body should be vibrating the moment that word is listened somewhere else. So should be the layam, so should be the intensity. I'm showing you the intensity of that, how one should understand. This is called Shushusha and Shravanam. Shravanam is also, as that has been told, you should get the same meaning of it. Not that you will create a meaning of your own. You should not. You should not create a meaning of your own. That what has been told should be perceived. This is Vedantic studies, Vedic studies. Because your mind and your intellect and your intelligence doesn't have that capacity to contemplate it, to analyze it and to explore an explicit meaning to that. You don't have it. No intelligence, no intellect, no mind has got the capacity. That's why it has to be taken as it is. That is why this Shravanam, Shushusha and Shravanam is required. Not that you will release, yes, contemplation can be done. As I told you, contemplation is meant for establishing that what has been told is the truth and exactly as that has been told. You cannot derive pariyayas out of it. No. No. That is it. That is it. That's all. Tat Tvam Asi, Tat Tvam Asi. That's all. There is no question of what is Tat, what is Tvam, what is Asi. I will interpret it in my own way. Tat means that, Tvam means you, Aham means me, Tat Tvam Asi means me. No, it is not that. Tat is Brahman, Tvam is Brahman, Asi is Brahman. That is the true meaning of Tattvamasi. To reach that, they said, that is like Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnameva Vasishyade. What is the meaning of it? No meaning, Purnam. That's all. Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnameva Vasishyade. What is the difference between this and this Purnam and this Purnam? It's the same Purnam. Tat is Brahman. Tvam, you, is Brahman. Asi is Brahman. Aham also is Brahman. You, that, this and me is all Brahman, is Tattvamasi. But when you read the meaning in everywhere, Purana, Upanishad or any other meaning people have written, Tat means that, Tvam means you, and Asi means me. This is what they explain. This is the word meaning in Sanskrit. But word meaning in Sanskrit is not Tattvam. That's why principles have to be understood. By language, understanding through language is not good enough. That's why I said, I used to tell that. Maybe he is a scholar in Sanskrit, but he may not be a Brahmajnani. A Brahmajnani is different, and a scholar in a particular language is different. Yes, whether it is explained in English, whether it is explained in Sanskrit or in any other language, any language for that matter, the meaning should be same. There cannot be change. This is called Shravanam. This understanding, this is what the Guru wants to tell me, is the one Shishya should understand, and he identifies when he says Tattvam Asi is that everything is you, everything is Brahman. This is how the perceiving takes place. Shruti said Tattvam Asi, he said Tattvam Asi. But the true meaning, the purpose of that meaning is what? The purpose is what? The Brahman, realization of the Brahman, realization of the Brahman Jnana, Tattvam Asi. This principle has to be understood. Before listening to Vedanta, this principle has to be understood. Is why Shushusha and Shravana. The Shravana should be such. So so that the ears will get tuned to the bhautika instruments, the materialistic instruments like ear, eyes, nose and mouth and fingers and all that. They should get tuned to the truth, belief of the truth. That's why they called it as Indriya Nigraha. I have also repeated a number of times Indriya Nigraha. Now, those days probably it was not the right or the time to explain this. But today, having talked about Tattvamasi, I will tell what is the meaning of Indriya Nigraham also. Indriya Nigraham is not that the stop functioning of the Indriyas. No. Nobody has told us. It is not, when Indriyas are there, Indriyas has to function. Indriyas have been provided. Then why, having provided the Indriyas, why the Indriya Nigraham has been stored? Nigraham. Grahyate means what? To receive. No? Grahyate is to receive. Nigraha, do not receive. What you should not receive? Nigraha means what? Not to receive. What Indriya should not receive? That according to his choice, he should not receive. Then why Indriyas have been provided? Indriyas have been provided to Grahyate, in order to receive the Brahma Jnana, Brahma Tattva. Through the Bhautika Jivan, through the Bhutas outside, in the Bhutas outside, through the Bhutas outside, in the Prakriti, the Indriya should absorb the Brahma Tattva, Brahma Jnana from that and transmit it to the Mana. Is why Indriya Nigraha, not Grahati, Grahyate. Graha means what? The receiving. It should not receive according to its own choice. Its own taste. No. I eat something, it should be. That's why Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavir, Brahmagnau, Brahmanahutam. Brahmanahuti, we are doing it while eating. You are receiving, but you are submitting to the Brahman. That means what? Your tongue should be tasting that Brahma Tattvam when you are eating that particular thing. Indriya Nigraha. Not the taste. See, it's beautiful it is. Why? Not because I tell that. The word, the Vedanta is beautiful. Not because, why? Once the tongue tastes, when you are eating, the tongue tastes that this is Brahman. The taste buds tasting the Brahma Tattvam, Brahma Jnanam, in that, the ecstasy of Brahma Tattvam, Brahma Jnanam, in that taste, will restrict the taste of other things where you get attracted and attached to Maya. If you do not have the knowledge of the Brahma Tattvam, Brahma Jnanam, Indriya Nigraha is not there, the tongue will get attracted to the different tastes of XYZ material that you are eating, and depending upon that, you will create your vasana towards that, and you would like to eat that only again and again. Gradually you forget about the Brahma Ahuti, Brahmarpanam, Brahma Ahuti. Brahmagno, Brahmaiva Tena Ganthavyam. Brahmaiva Tena Ganthavyam. Everything is yours. Everything is, including the gandha, taste, everything. Brahmakarma, everything is samarpanam to Brahma. Brahmaiva Tena Ganthavyam.
Karma samadhi. Brahma karma samadhi.
It is equivalent to a samadhi. Submission or surrender is equivalent to a samadhi. surrender is not with you. Brahma karma samadhina. All karmas I am doing it for the samadhi. All the karmas that executed by the indriyas, Brahma karma samadhina. It is equivalent to samadhi. Samadhi to that means what? In the state of samadhi, I do not have any personal choice at all. That's samadhi. Samadhinata. Equivalent to Ishwaratva is samadhinata. Samadhi Brahma karma samadhina. The samadhi, this is equivalent to that. Whatever I am doing, samarpanam, is equivalent to through the process of my karma samadhi. That means in the status of samadhi, there is no requirement for me. There is no desire, there is no attachment, there is no attraction, nothing. Samadhi is absolutely even that what I am eating is samadhi. It's for the purpose of samadhi. That I am doing through the samadhi. Samarpayami. It is I am giving the samarpana. That means through the samadhi I submit my totality, including all that what I do, my karma, equivalent to the samadhi. I do the samarpana to you. Is that what we are telling while before eating? Arpanam. Arpanam is that the submission. Arpanam. Giving submission. Arpanam. So, what happens? Shravanam. This is called the Indriya Nigraha. I was talking about Indriya Nigraha. Why? Because about the Tattvamasi. Same way, the Indriya Nigraha decided not. Earlier I told you why. Because that was not the right time. Those days you are all entangled with Maya. And then completely, in the attachment of Maya. There one has to teach somebody that first, what is the first? Whenever a correction is to be done in something, the first activity is what? Suppose you are writing something wrong. What should I say? That in order to correct you, what should I say? Stop writing. Stop writing. Then only I tell you, write this one in the right way. Same way, Indriya Nigraha before was that stop. Indriya Nigraha. Stop receiving anything through the Indriyas. Is that what they have to do? As initial studies, class 1 study. Stop. Then automatically there has to be a thinking. When the disciple gets matured in knowledge, he should ask, like in Prashnopanishad. In Prashnopanishad, the disciple asks, "Hey Bhagavan, please tell me, if I stop the Indriyas, how can I even perceive the godliness into the Bhautika Sharira?" Should be a question. I'm just telling. If this is not there in Prashnopanishad, I'm just telling a question. This question should come in them. That means they should be ready with that knowledge. That much of knowledge they should receive, and the question should come inside that if I do Indriya Nigraha, how can I perceive things into the Bhautika Sharira? Then that means I have to wait till my death. Then if I have to wait till my death for my liberation and understanding of Brahmajnana, Brahmatattvam, what Adi Shankara said is wrong there. While living you can attain the Brahmatattvam, Brahmajnana, Brahma Sakshatkaram. He said that. Is it true? Can you say Bhagavan is wrong? I mean Ishvara, the Adi Shankaracharya is wrong? No. He has told no. So this has to come to the mind of the disciple. When the jnanam, that's why Prashnopanishad, or the disciples are who? Those 6 disciples who were there, they were all absolute Brahmajnanis, but wanting to have certain final clarifications where they were unable to, they knew where is the Brahman now, what is the Brahman, but they are unable to touch that. Those were the students, Suryaputra, Brahaspati, and such people were the students of in Prashnopanishad. So that's why they start with hey Maharishi or Acharya, please tell us. By the time they finished the sixth answer,
Pita.
hey Parampita, please tell us this. See, they, by listening the 5 question answers, their concept of the Guru changed. He is a Parampita. He is already a Brahman. Because they have already felt the Brahman. They have already understood the Brahman. This status has to come in the disciple. Is why initially Indriya Nigraha, that means in the beginning itself, if I say that Indriya Nigraha means only perception of this thing, then what is it? Then one will think, why should I touch, why should I eat, why should I breathe, why should I... No, there will be a big confusion in the mind. So he has to be put a stop there. What? In the bhautika attention, he has to put a stop. He has to totally stop first. Then divert the attention of the Indriyas to the Brahman. Is why I know I am explaining very threadbare, so that it should be absolutely clear to you. Is why, like to a small child, we explain this. Then only it is understandable. Generally, I say that Indriya Nigraha means only that relieving from the abstract, from the bhautika jivan, and attention has to be given to the abstracts. That's all. You, then what will be, how will it be? How will you understand this? Brahmajnanam, as far as the bhautika jivan is concerned, is an abstract. He doesn't know whether it is there or not, Brahman is true or not, should we receive or should we attain or not, should we do layam or not, is it the truth? No. There is no proof for that. There are no words which can explain the Brahman actually. So the words are not there. So the mind cannot understand. The intelligence cannot understand. The intellect cannot understand. That which cannot be understood by any of the materialistic or bhautika materials that is there inside you, and the Guru is trying to explain that man who is totally entangled with only the Brahma, the bhautika jivan, and has the intellect, mind, and the indriyas and the intelligence, which functions at its own whims and fancies. He is trying to induct that unknown into that. How you can imagine how difficult it is. So through certain other materials. That's why Shravanam, that's why he is insisting on Shushusha and Shravanam. Shravanam should be just to establish what is listened is only right. Not even a change in that. As I always say that, in Upanishad you will find, if you take out some word, this I have told earlier also, if I take out some sentence from particular instance, it will give a total opposite meaning sometimes. Not only different meanings, it may give an opposite meaning, but this will be suitable only to that particular situation and circumstance. So one should understand why this has been told like this. That's why there are so many interpretations and so many misunderstandings and so many confusions, because they do not relate with that particular instance. If I take it out and use it somewhere else, it will not match. Why I am saying this is because I told you that listen to as it has been told. Is why I am telling this, that why should I listen that what exactly as it has been told? Because it will mismatch anywhere else. It is just like your clothes. You take your father's cloth and wear it, it will not fit you. You give your clothes to somebody else who is not of your size, it will not fit. No. You got it? Both are dress only. How it should not fit? 40 inches and 20 inches. One needs 20 inches, another needs 40 inches. Nice. Why 40 inches should not fit him or 20 inches should not fit into 40 inches? If you ask that question, how foolish you will say that how foolish it is. Absolutely. It is the same thing the Guru is telling the Shishya, how foolish it is if you are not taking it as it is, as exactly as it is. If you try to take it out and put it somewhere else, there will be a mismatch, we call it in our modern language, mismatch. Is why Shravanam should be as it is. This also I will tell the example of the same example. When you listen, you will say yes. Shushrusha Shravanam. Then of course you know it. After Shravanam is always Mananam. Establishing it. After listening exactly same, Mananam is the contemplation. If at all the mind is wanting to contemplate it only for the purpose of establishing that this is the truth alone. Not only this is the truth, this alone is the truth. Not this is the truth. This alone is the truth. There is nothing other than that. Should be established so that the mind should not, you should not give mind a choice and chance to interpret it in different ways depending upon your emotional and attractions and emotional changes, emotional attraction, emotional intelligence, emotional understanding or egoistic understanding. That's how the Charvakyas have been formed, because of their understanding through the egos. Then would like to understand it and contemplate it again, bring back the Charvakas means again they discuss, let's say Tarka Shastra. Through Tarka they would like to establish it as right. You don't have to waste time on Tarka. Tarka will always lead it to only Tarka. It has to be understood properly. Well, I use the word to understand because there is no other word to tell while explaining. But understand is not the word. Because see, your mind will immediately attach. He said not to understand, but now he is saying you understand. No, this will come. Our minds will always play that trick. You should establish saying that no, perception. Shravanam, Mananam. Mananam is contemplating and establishing. Contemplation towards establishment. I repeat, contemplation is establishment towards the establishment towards the truth. That alone is the truth. So that you will develop your. This is how the students, the disciples in Prashna Upanishad have revealed the Parampita in the Guru. They have to reveal the Parampita. Even though the same figure was sitting in front of them, the same Guru was sitting in front of them, same way he was talking. Initially they identified him as Acharya and finally they identified the same nature, the same everything that is standing in front of him as Parampita. That means who has changed is the Guru or the disciple. The disciple's contemplation has changed. Guru was same only from the beginning. He was only. Now he could visualize the inner, Brahman in him. By the time he got that jnanam, earlier he was looking through his external eyes, the Bhautika Chakshu, whereas by the time he finished it, through Jnana Chakshu he started seeing it. Darshanam he has got. Then he has got the Darshanam of the Brahman. What the importance of Mananam? That's it. I am emphasizing all this so that at least we should know this. Why they have written so much on these. These are not small words. Just for talking about Shravanam, Mananam, Shravanam, Shushrusha, Shravanam, Mananam. Not like that. Study. Grahyate. Grahanam is the next one. Grahyate. After establishing the truth, that should be, as I told you, Grahana. Each and every small tissue should have the same knowledge inside the system. That means the whole of you, the whole of Atman, the whole including the Atma, Bhautika and Adhyatma Sharira, both. The physical as well as the spiritual bodies should have the total meaning of it. The Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karna Sharira, in every Sharira, in every status of the Sharira, this knowledge has to be perceived. That is important. Listen, the tissues, what I mean, is not the tissues in the physical body or the nervous system in the body. I am talking about the Sthula, Sukshma, Karana Sharira. In all the three Shariras, this should perceive, because it is a Karana Sharira which creates your next Janma. If it is not perceived in the Karana Sharira, the next Janma you will not be again repeating the same karmas and karma balas. If it is perceived by you, if you have got a layam, grahyate grahanam, no, that means grahanam is absolute. Even the Sukshma Sharira, even Sthula Sharira and Sukshma Sharira, as well as Karana Sharira, will have that after Grahanam. The knowledge should be spread into that. The cause of your birth, the cause of your death should be based on that. Is called Grahanam. Grahanam is not only just understanding or receiving or perceiving or layam. It has to be there in all the Shariras. That means all over it has to be there. It's called Grahanam. Dharana, Dharayate iti Dharana. Grahanam and Dharanam is more or less with minor deviations only. It is there. After Grahanam is Dharanam. Grahanam is that after Mananam establishing, you transmit it to the Sukshma, Sthula, Karana Shariras, spread it. Dharana is that you will dharayate iti dharanaha. That means the one you carry it. That means the Sukshma Sharira should carry it along with it if you have got number of Janmas. Dharayate. Dharana has been explained in many ways. For the initial students, dharana means that in the mind, in the brain. That's for the initial stages. Dharana. That means in the mind, understanding it properly, behaving it with that, and utilizing that, is called dharana. Then if you grow up a little more with the knowledge, it should go to the intellect and to the other things. Then as I told that you should understand, relate with the grahanam. So when you relate with the grahanam, it should be in the dharana, should be in the Sthula, Sukshma, Karana Shariras. That means in everywhere, it should be, one is Grahanam, that means I have received it. Dharana is that I have converted into usability, utilization. Vegetables I have brought, but in order to eat it, I have to cook it. I have got it, Grahanam is there. But in order to consume it, I have to cook it. Same way, Grahanam is there that I have spread it in all the three Shariras. But for these three Shariras, not for entertainment it is receiving, it's not for fun it is receiving, not for entertainment, but for using that. So, Dharana, that means Dharate, that means it should be ready for utilizing it further. It's called Dharana. Dharana, carrying something is for what? Carrying, Dharana, Dharate. It's meant for utilization. So you should be in a position to utilize his called. So that should be ready. That is meant for using. All the knowledge is, all the jnanam is meant for using, not for listening and keeping it or forgetting it or studying it or talking about it. No. A pravachanam by, maybe a man who knows the language and who knows the subject, he can do a very good pravachanam. No? Pravachanam. But he is not a he may not be a Brahmajani. He can use words very fluently, he can use it wonderfully well, and all those things are there. But what happened? Dharana is not there. Dharana means to use it, to utilize it. Okay, pravachanam is good, it's not that. He, along with pravachanam, he should be in a position to utilize it also. That's a true brahmacharya, that he only can reveal Brahman to the disciple. How that Maharshi, Rishi Pipalada, who was the Rishi who was explaining, how could Rishi Pipalada could be the same Rishi as well as Parampita? Because he was a brahmacharya. He was not only doing pravachanam, he was only creating the jnana chakshu in them so that through their jnana chakshu they can see me, is what Rishi Pipalada said. That's how they could identify Rishi Pipalada and finally as Parampita. Uham is the next one. Uham and apuham, this goes together actually. Uha apuham, they say. In normal language when they talk, uha apuham, they say. Uham and apuham. Uham is, of course this Sanskrit, Hindi, I don't know. Uham is inferring. Now you have understood, you have listened, Shushusha, you have done Shravanam, you have done Grahanam, you have done Dharana. Now, this has been taken care for the purpose of utilization. But as I told you, you have got the Dharana according to that what has been explained to you by the Guru. And you are ready to use it. How can I use it? Where will I use it? How can I use it? You are ready. Your system is ready. All the three shariras are ready. But where will you use it for that? Where will you use it? What is it meant for? As I told you in the beginning, it is meant for Brahmajnanam, Brahmajnanam, not for eating a wonderful meal. For that dharana, this dharana is not required, some other dharana is required. It is not meant for that, not for a good meal. But this dharana is only meant for, I am repeating it number of times, it's only meant for Brahmajnanam, Brahmatattvam. So, that, what is Brahmajnanam, Brahmatattvam? That which is not known to my mind, my three shariras. Neither Sthula, Sukshma, Karana Sharira doesn't know. What is it meant for? So, the capability of, through that which has been explained by the Guru, when he is explaining, when he has explained to you, you should have the capacity to have that, establishing that, as I told you, when you learn all these things in the proper way, and when you have got the capacity of understanding of all these things in a proper way, Shushrusha, Shravanam and Grahanam, Mananam, Mahanam, Grahanam, Dharana, if you have got these things perfectly well, Uham will automatically come. Uham is that inference. Why? Because he is not telling me what is Brahman. He is the disciple. This is exactly what was the problem with those disciples when they came to Rishi Vipalada. They had all these qualities. They knew everything. But they say that, where can make me see, make me touch. I'm just telling you, explaining you like that. Was their requirement. They are not satisfied because I understood, Grahanam I have done, Dharana I have done, absolutely established that what has been told by you is absolutely true. I have no doubt at all. The disciple is absolute sthita prajna is there, absolute vishwasa is there, absolute faith is there, everything is there. But how to utilize it? Where to utilize it now? This is what they wanted to know from Rishi Vipalada, and he explains it. Right? He explains in words that this is called Brahman, that which cannot be seen, which cannot be felt, but which is only which cannot be understood, which cannot be used, which cannot, the Sharira is not Brahman, the Mana is not Brahman, Atma is not Brahman, or the Sukshma Sharira, the Karana Sharira, none of them are Brahman. But the Brahman is everywhere. None of them are Brahman, but the Brahman is everywhere. Krishna is in all the gopis, gopis are not Krishna. This is exactly what it is. So he said this, now how to understand it? Uham. Inference, drawing in. Brahman can be understood only through an inference, that which is not visible. But it is a Chaitanyam, because that whatever it may, whatever I am doing, whatever I am thinking, now I am talking, the words, what is coming out of my mouth, the sound, the voice, the me, the Sharira, the Mana, the listener, the place, the everything is nothing but Brahman. That Chaitanyam is the one which makes it function. Like Bhagavan said, in the Visha, I am the Kala Kuda Visha. He said, no? Bhagavan, when he said, who am I in Bhagavad Gita, he is explaining that in whichever there is, I am taking Visha because that's what which we, aversion is there for us to remove. How do you die? How a person dies after taking Visha? To cause the death, there has to be a Chaitanyam in that Visha, then only he can die. The liquid cannot make you die. It cannot make your prana go. Who is it? There has to be a Chaitanyam. And that Chaitanyam should be very powerful. No? That Chaitanyam should be powerful. So in the Visha, the Chaitanyam, the intensity of the Visha to affect somebody of the Vishabhada, or the effect of the Visha, that is me, Bhagavan says. Who does make the Visha function? He taken the Visha. This is Visha, he has taken the Visha. After taking the Visha, what happens? It has to function, no? To make the prana go away. How can this make the prana go away? That Chaitanyam is me. The intensity of the Visha is me. And can you recite it? Bhagavan Shiva have taken the Visha. He did not die. Even though stories are there in the Kanta and things like that, we, as far as we are concerned, he has taken it. Others are stories. Nilakanta, Parvati came and held this. Actually, Parvati pressed his neck, so that if he dies, let him die because of my pressing, not because of the Visha. I'm just joking. Please don't take it. She came and pressed. It's nothing like that. These are all stories. No. Nothing happened. Nobody came and held him and all that. He took the Visha. How? He did not. Why he did not die? The Visha, the Kalakuda Visha is also Chaitanya. He is also Chaitanya. The Chaitanya in him is much more powerful than the Kalakuda Visha in Chaitanya, because he is a creator of the Visha. Is why he did not die. You may think, oh, it's because of Bhagavan. Lot of confusions may be there in your mind now. I will clarify it. That's my job. I will beg, please listen. Like Vidura, please, this is Dhamma, this is Dhamma, this is Dhamma. The same thing happened with Maharishi Vipralada. This is Brahman, this is Brahman. Ultimately, the student understood. Same way. In us, we are the creator of the negative things, is it not? We fight. We abuse, we accuse, we fight, we do wrong things, we think wrong things, we do everything, is it not? We are the creator of the wrong things, is it not? That wrong thing can be controlled only by me. Easy. I can withdraw from that. I need not to get angry. I need not to get worried. I need not to get used to the wrong things. I do not misbehave. I should not this. I should not this. This has been done by you. That what has been done by you. You can curb it. You can modify it. You can cure it. You can nullify it. Is it possible or not? This is exactly what he has done. This is what Shiva and Kalakuda Visha relationship. That's all. Am I right? The Visha that is inside you can be controlled by you. So, I don't know. What did I say that? Uham. So therefore, same way, the uham is necessary is because the inferring quality is necessary in you. This inference quality will come automatically when your focus is absolutely on the Guru's words, which you perceive it in your system, not listening, but listening. Listening and perceived it in your system. The whole system is, becomes the jnanam. When you have that jnanam, then he says that Brahman is not that which is visible, Brahman is not that which can be tasted, which cannot be felt, which cannot be seen, which cannot be experienced, which cannot be used by you, but he is everywhere. And it is a Chaitanyam. That Chaitanyam is the one which is making you function in each and every activity, even each and every breath that you are taking, each and every eyelid you are blinking, they are all because of the Chaitanyam. That we call it as involuntary action. Most of the sensory system in us is functioning as involuntary action, they say, in according to medical science. Involuntary is not voluntary. There is no spring, there is no other lever, there is no hydraulic system functioning for the closing of opening of eye. No. We make it outside only that. This is none of them are there. But you see, a simple, thin sort of thing, which automatically, whenever it is required, like a wiper in the car, keep on functioning. How is it? We call it as involuntary action. That's nature. Why are you breathing? Is there an effort for closing your eyelid and opening the eyelid? Do you have to use it consciously? Do you use it with an effort? No. This involuntary system. The whole system, as in heart is functioning, liver is functioning, the whole of your inner system is functioning, not because of your intelligence, your buddhi, your qualification, your money, your strength. We call it as involuntary system. Automatically this has to function. What is this automatic? Chaitanya. That Chaitanya, I am making you conscious, so you are all aware of it. But when I make you conscious, you are more going into that person. Look at your heart. Are you doing anything for the heart? Chaitanyam. If the Chaitanyam, that means what? What you have to attend to? Not attending to the heart and liver and the kidneys and things like that individually. Where you have to attend to? You have to attend to your Chaitanya. He is Brahman, is what Guru said. Where I have to attend? How many patients, how many organs you will attend? How many tissues and how many small glands you will attend? The other day I had a small pain here. You know what was it called? A small, tiny tissue there was doing like that. And it was discomfort. No, but small thing. How can you find out? Nobody can find out. No doctor can find out. Nothing can find out. Only assumptions can be done. So, what I am saying is that we cannot control it. Can I control it? Can I make it all right? No, nothing can be done. What has to improve? You have to improve the Chaitanya. That was the purpose of learning Reiki. Transmission of energy, transmission of Chaitanyam into the system. Nothing else. We call it as universal life force energy. That energy, this energy, so on, so this and that. And a lot of explanations have been done because this was necessary for a Buddha Buddhi. Buddha means not that Buddha means the one who has got ignorance. For an ignorant Buddhi, these have to be told initially in order to make them perceive it so that it is there. What actually being done? Purification of that Chaitanya. Who is doing it? The one who has learned about the Chaitanya, the one who has purified about the Chaitanya. That's why when everybody gives that same treatment, this one, it is not effective. But somebody does it, it's more effective. Why? The realization of the Chaitanya is there, and the realization, the one who transmits the Chaitanya into that Chaitanya, purifies that Chaitanya which is covered by the veil, by the unwanted things, is removed and the Chaitanya is revealed. He is not creating an energy, he is not creating an Chaitanya in him. No, Chaitanya is there. Removing that covering, taking out of that. So this is how in you the Chaitanya is revealed. By Guru, by his explanations, by his Tattva Jnanam, by his presence, by his Taposh Bhala and Taposh Shakti. Through his third eye, he transmits this knowledge along with the words that he is speaking. he also transmits this Shakti into that disciple. He feels it. He's not listening it. He feels his words. He feels his expressions. He feels his intention. He feels his meaning. He feels his intention. He feels his purpose. And he understood. Then he says, "Oh, Parampita." Immediately, within a fraction of a second, the veil is removed. Unwanted things. Brahman, inference. Through inference only one can understand this Chaitanya. I told you about Chaitanya. Enough proof is there that there is a Chaitanya. But I cannot show you what is it. Somebody will say, "Oh, show me Chaitanya." No. Your eyes, I can show you. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, first when Swamiji Vivekananda went. What was his name? Narendra went. Show me the goddess. I will show you. But can you see? You want me to show, I will show. My capacity is only to the extent that I can show. No? But you have to see. Going to the movie theater and you tell them, start the projector, I want to see the movie. He starts the projector and you keep your eyes closed. He is showing the movie, but you are not seeing it. You don't have the capacity to see it because you have closed your eyes. You understood what I am trying to tell you. So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, and now I will give you the power of seeing, then you will see it. Similarly, enough of experience we have got, everything is functioning on Chaitanya. We have got enough intelligence. There are so many very intelligent people in the universe. With all the intelligent people, with all the, we say that, oh, nowadays the education system has gone up so high and so much of, what is that? Space exploration, and we even know how to go and live in the moon, and we know this, we know that, and we know there's so much of education has come, so much of development technological, so much of medical theory and system developments, all these are there. We have no peace of life. We have no peace in our life. There some terrorism captures one country. In other places terrorism is opposing the good things. Another place something is happening, something is happening. With so much of intelligence around, with so much of progress around, you cannot control even this much that a man, you give a little bit of peace to human being. Innovation is wrong. I am not establishing that innovation is wrong. No. Developments are not wrong. Bhautika developments, fine. But what happened? You have developed, the Bhautika system and all that. You have made modern guns and modern equipments to kill people. But what equipment have you made to protect people? The innovation. You have made so much of bombs, so much of guns. Today we are talking about, so and so country has left so much of equipments and so many things which are absolutely modern. Even in the dark, this can fly and bomb everything. You give me one equipment to protect myself. That has been developed by you. What was your intelligence for? What is your intelligence for? According to me, to kill people. What is terrorism? Terrorism is because terrorism has happened only because of equipments are there. Anyway, I am not diverting the subject. So what I am trying to tell you is that there is nothing that can give you peace. There is nothing that give you protection. What protection do you have? You have made those bulletproof, we call it. It is only proofed only for bullet. But what happens? Something is showering from top. Look at those Kashmiris. Look at those people who are in borders. Ages they are suffering. Their child did not get education. Their child do not have proper food. They do not have proper clothes. Human being. We are progressing. We claim we are progressing. The whole world. I am not talking about Kashmir. I know about Kashmir, so I am talking about Kashmir. That's all. I'm just an example. Please don't take it away. I am not a good politician to discuss about the politics. Neither I am a ruler to tell you about the Chanakya of the ruling. I do not know how to rule a country. Why forget about it? I don't know how to rule a house. How to rule a house, I don't know. How to rule me, I don't know. So, how can I tell you? What I am trying to tell you is that there is, things are there. These are all, what we claim as development is only for destruction. This I have told a number of times. All the developments have led to destruction only. The Bhautika developments have led to destruction. Yes, it is good. You are using your intelligence, you are exploring, exploiting the bhutas, exploiting materials, and then you are inventing something for convenience. Everything is fine. But then, where is question of peace of mind? Where is your salvation? Where is your, you have a proper thinking. Today everybody's thinking is that how to own a gun, but not thinking that how to get peace to the mind. Only two pieces. Chaitanyam is what I am talking about. So the Chaitanyam is there. No, it is the Chaitanyam that is functioning in everything. But it is the karma phala and karmas of individual. When they mix along with the Chaitanyam, utilize the Chaitanyam for the purpose of your experience, the Chaitanyam functions according to that. Like I always said that the matchstick can be used for lighting a lamp or lighting it, destroying a place, setting fire to that is. So what I am talking about is that inference. The Chaitanyam is there, that is established. It is because of the Chaitanyam these things are happening. So many times, so many things are happening. Somebody said in a tsunami, one small child was saved. All others have died. What scientific explanation can you give me for this? What do you call as scientific? The child who was being carried by the mother died, the child saved. Give me an explanation how science has protected the child. It just happened, we'll say. Chaitanya. I'm going into that also. Calamities also. So in our normal functioning also, in each and every activity there is Chaitanyam. Everything in us is functioning according to Chaitanyam. What we have to do instead of attending to the organs, instead of attending to the things and things like that, we have to improvise or we have to improve of the quality of the Chaitanya. In the sense, not that quality is the wrong quality, no. Quality here I mean that taking out the wheel and clearing of that. The moss out of it has to be taken out and make that Chaitanyam shine as it is. All your thoughts, emotions and the attractions, attachment, Kama, Krodha, Loka, Moha, but the Matsarya that has created a covering to that Chaitanyam. So Chaitanyam is functioning through that. I have to remove them. So Uham is that understanding and establishing and do a perception on that layer, on that, and also in the three sharisas, making it firmly convinced, having convinced, making it, transmitting it into all the three shariras is that the Brahman is the one which is functioning. All functions are because of Brahman only. That Chaitanya, Brahma Chaitanya only. That Chaitanya is that what makes everything happen. Birth, death, living, thinking, eating, everything is happening only through the Chaitanya, the Uham, that is the inference, drawing an inference that you must be able to see that invisible Chaitanya in your mind. Is called Uham. That capacity should be there, because many things what we explain in Upanishad is not understandable by normal mind or normal intelligence. Neither we have learned in schools nor anywhere else. It is all beyond. So it is difficult. So people say it is difficult to believe. Naturally, you are trying to believe. That's why it's difficult to believe. Don't believe. Just accept it. Don't believe. Just accept it. Uha, Uham, normally one word. Uham is inference. Apuham is inference is true. My inference, what I have seen through my inference is absolutely true. Is Apuham, establishing the Uham. Establishing the Uham is Apuham. That's why Apuham goes together. Establishing the Uham as in Apuham, establishing the Uham in the system or in the three shariras, all the shariras, everywhere, every time, at all times, is called the Apuham. No? This establishing is necessary. This is how, again I go back, Rishi Vipaladas and students. This Uham initially was there, Brahman is there. When that Uham was made established in their system, that means the Uham has been established, Apuham, established in the system, that what Uham is explaining is absolutely right. Then after that Apuham, after establishing that Uham, that inference has been drawn and established it, after establishing it, his mind, intellect, intelligence and indriyas had all vanished. They stopped functioning, only that inference started. Through that darshanam, they saw the Brahman sitting there. Let me personify it. The Brahman sitting there, even though it's not an action. They could see why? Uha Puham. Through Uha Puham we could see that. This is what it is. This is what is required. So this capacity has to be developed. These are all preliminaries before Tattva-jnanam has to be acquired. These are all meant for only basics. Tattva-jnanam comes after that, and only it's totally absorbed. Uha Buham, then comes Tattva-jnanam. Oh, I was just saying that. Eighth one is eighth one, no? No. Shushrusha Shravanam, Grahanam, Mananam, Dharanam, Uham, Abuham, and Tattva-jnanam is 8. I have divided Uham and Apuham different because they are different. Uham is inference and Apuham is establishing the inference as right. It's called Apuham. That is right. But normally when we are talking, we say Uham, Apuham. The purpose is that Uham is meant for Apuham, not for just dreaming. No, not for that. Uham is meant for what? Dreaming? No. Uham is meant for Apuham. That's why Uha Apuham goes together. That's why. But they are different. Function is different, meaning is different, establishing is different. So Uha Apuham, Tattva-jnanam. Tattvamasi. Tattvam is what? Ta and Tvam. Tat and Tvam, Jnanam. The Jnanam of that and you is called Tattva. Let me divide it there, even though it is not like that. Let me divide it that. The Jnanam of that, Tat and Tvam, Tattva Jnanam. That means when I know that and the you are not the truth. It's Tattva-jnanam is that again. Okay, that is my, just to make you understand the split up of that. The Tattva-jnanam normally, tattvas are principles. It's the same meaning again. Principles. What's the principle of tat? That is not there. When this is there, then only that is there. That and this subtracts. What is this? That which is nearer to me is this, that which is far from me is that. When I have understood that Brahman is me and everything is Brahman, where is this and where is that? It's nothing. So what is that? Tat. Tat is not there. Tvam. You. When I am there, then only you are there. No. When I am not there, because this Brahman, that's also Brahman. Where is Tvam? Is also not there. Tattu. What is Tattu? Tvam is, Tat is not there, Tvam is not there, Aham is not there. That Jnanam. Tattva. This is called principle, Tattva. So, when you put together, is Tattvam. Tattvam is principle. The meaning of Tattvam is principle. Tattvam. Tattvam of that. The principle of that is called principle in the sense the cause, the purpose and the utility all together is called the Tattva, principle. The principle should be utilized. Principle is that sutra, that example, the secret of that. So that principle you take out, and then to make it usable, when you make it usable, it becomes Jnanam, Tattva Jnanam. Utilize that principle. Utilizing the principle is that Tattva Jnanam. Utilizing the what principle? What is the Tattva? Having told all these things now, I know Brahma Chaitanya is everything, is that Tattva principle, and that Jnanam. Jnanam is what? That which has been experienced is Jnanam. What is Jnanam? Knowledge. Knowledge is not just knowing. Knowledge is that what has been experienced is knowledge. So, principle has been experienced. Tattva Jnanam. That inference I have drawn, the Brahma Chaitanyam is that, it is the Chaitanyam that functioning everywhere. Once I know is that, this is called Tattva Jnanam. At least one should know that this is that. So, these are the 8 Ashtanga. Gunas. This guna should be there. I am not telling you to become. No. This guna should be there in you. That's all. Like I know about Sato Guna, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna. Before I becoming a Sato Guni, but I should know there are a Sato, Rajo and Tamo Gunas, and these are the differences. Now I must become a Sato Guni. Same way. Gunas, why did I say Ashtaguna, even though it is not that, it's not gunas actually. I just named it for the purpose of teaching you, that's all. It doesn't mean, it is not gunas. Guna is that something which is implied in gunas, not that. Gunatita, these are all gunatita, of course. Gunas I said because, like I said, Rajo, Tamo and Sato, Rajo and Tamo gunas are there, and I have to become Tamo, Sato Guni, so I should know about Rajo and Tamo. That, so that's why I call them as gunas. Now I have to become a Satoguni. Now I have to become a Brahmajnani through the Upanishadic studies. Is why Tattva Jnanam is the last. That I should be in the position. I know now these are there. I know now Sato, Rajo and Tamo Guna is there, but because of these things, I would like to be Sato Guni. I would like to be like that. I would like to be one Shushrusha, Sravana and Tattva Jnanam. I would like to be that. This establishing has to be there. Now when the mind is prepared based on this, you will reach the Tattva Jnanam consciousness. These are the things. Is it okay? Good.
That example is something.
That's very big. That's for the next class. Example is big one. Example is one class. That's coming. I have not forgotten. This is written here. The whole thing. This is all extra. Oh, Shanti.